Hey guys, on this little video, I want to talk about the freedom of surrender and what that means. So, when I think of surrendering myself, it's kind of that concept of yielding that I talked about in the last video. And it's taking that and taking that even further to not only yield myself, but kind of surrender myself and the freedom that comes from surrender as a taken in hand. I think that too many times we try to maintain control. We try to kind of grasp onto decisions and control within our relationships. And that's not our position. And that's not our job as a taken in hand. That's not within our role. And so when we hold on to those things, it creates tension and it creates strife, it creates stress. And because our head of household, it is within their role to have those decisions, to um, have that authority. When we try to hold on to it, then they feel like we are not respecting their position and that we are making their job harder because we're trying to grab onto and hold on to those things that don't belong to us. And so it creates tension, it creates strife. So when we surrender, when we can kind of let go of all of that, it creates harmony. And there is so much freedom in that. Not only harmony and peace within our relationship and making our relationships good, and that creates, its own level of peace and positive energy, but also surrender creates peace within ourselves because we don't have to worry about things that are not ours to worry about. It's freedom to be able to fully embrace our role without having to worry about things that are outside of our role. And that creates just a sense of relief, a sense of fulfillment that I think that we don't always give credit to, because if we were really thinking about it and we knew what it felt like to really let go, we wouldn't hesitate. And the fact that we hesitate means that we're scared. It means that it feels vulnerable. It feels really vulnerable to rely on someone else to make the decisions. It feels really vulnerable to give that authority to your head of household because that requires a certain level of trust. But we can trust our head of households. We can trust them to lead. We can trust them to make good decisions. And when we give that to them, when we fully let go and we fully surrender ourselves within our role and within our relationship, that creates such a sense of freedom within us because now we are free to fulfill our role. We are free to do the things that we should be doing. We don't have to carry the weight of the mental energy of trying to control things that we have no control over. And so when we can just kind of let go of this idea of trying to control things, and when we can let go of this idea of trying to maintain, oh, decision-making power, when we can let all of that go and really surrender ourselves, then we can find peace in that surrender. We can find freedom in that surrender, and we can start to fulfill our roles in the best way possible so that we don't have to let that weigh on our subconscious, so that we don't have to let that affect our moods and our attitudes. And we can really lean on our head of household, surrender ourselves to them, surrender ourselves within our relationship, and experience the freedom that is just being within our role, being taken care of, fulfilling our responsibilities that are within our role that our head of household gives us, going through and yielding ourselves to their leadership. And that really does create such a cohesive relationship, and that creates such peace and harmony. And that feels like a really good place to be in your relationship. And it just creates this freedom within you. And it creates the ability to be lighthearted. It creates the ability to be without stress. And it creates the ability to build a relationship that has deep connection. And so I hope that this helped you see the beauty and the purpose behind striving to surrender yourself in your relationship. All right, guys, if you like this video, give it a like, subscribe if you're not already, leave us a comment. All those things help. And a link to our Patreon is down below if you're interested. Talk to you later.